Studio. Check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Hello, good morning. What's going on, guys? Happy Friday to you. We are the SBTV Nation, the biggest show in the world, getting ready for the weekend, and I'm having a conversation with my boy, The Dream. Kid, how you feeling today?
Oh, boy. Glad to be at the house. Got a little bit of a hangover.
Oh, it sounds like me on the weekends. That's usually like my Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Would you get started on Thursday night?
So we started on Thursday night. It started with a nice little fire and a bottle of wine, and then it turned into another bottle of wine, and then it turned into another bottle of wine. And it just kept on going as the good times were flowing. Sports was popping.
Yes.
We had a lot of things go on last night. The Bulls came out and did their thing against the Celtics in their debut. Also, the Spurs just keep on rolling because they just can't stop. They don't know how to stop right now. Clippers won last night. Also, the Atlanta Hawks. I got to tell you, Hat.
Yes.
I have never been this involved with the NBA right out the gate.
I agree.
You already talked about it a little bit before the show. The storylines of the NBA, man, I'm like captivated right now by the NBA. Even though it's football season, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm cognizant of the NBA scores, but I did watch the football game.
Of course.
But I just am, there is a serious interest and a serious buzz right now with the NBA.
I agree with you, Dream. And you know what? It points right to the Chicago Bulls, number one. This is the first storyline of the night because I got to be honest with you. I was watching it, and, they got a pretty damn good roster. I mean, you got D-Wade, you got Rondo. I know Rondo's a head case, but Jimmy Butler, you got Gibson out there. I mean, this team is not that bad. I believe that this team is what you wanted the Miami Heat to be.
Okay?
It kind of seems like that, doesn't it?
I don't know. I got a little look at them last night, and it looked good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Celtics play good defense, so I can't say that the Celtics don't play good defense because they definitely play good defense. I'm just going to have to see Rondo for a full season because as the season goes on and adversity enters, some of those losses, they go on that skid where they lose quite a few games. I just want to see how the relationship with Rondo and D-Wade pans out.
Right, and the coaching staff is not the authoritative figure in that organization.
No
they
doubt.
kind of let the guys run wild. So, and having Rondo mixed in there, like you said, soon as some adversity comes their way, we're going to have a conversation about the Chicago Bulls. But you know what? I mean, just having a new player with D-Wade in there and it looks pretty good. I was surprised. I was super surprised. Granted, they almost squandered the lead at the end.
Okay.
They almost did. But they came through in the clutch, got it done in front of their home fans, and you know what? They beat the Boston Celtics, and I got to be honest with you, when you compare the roster of the Bulls compared to the Miami Heat and to the Boston Celtics, I think this might be, I know it's early, this might be your number 2 seed.
It's way early.
I know it, but I'm just looking at the level of talent on this team. They got some talented players out there. Even the bench is good.
Okay.
So you know what? Just looking at them, guys, I watched this whole game because, quite frankly, I was involved between this one and watching the Tennessee and Jags game, Dream. So
Tennessee and Jags game was dope. Okay? I don't know what you're talking about. Jags looked absolutely horrible. Still trying to figure out what everybody's love affair with the Jags are.
Yep, exactly.
Because they remind me of like your girl that was dope that became a crackhead.
Yeah, exactly. Right on. And you know what? I'm watching this game. I did not think the game was that bad.
Which one?
The Tennessee and Jags game.
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. I did see some key good points in the offense of the Tennessee Titans. I saw DeMarco Murray go down for a minute. I saw Derrick Henry rise to the top. and, kind of do his thing, kind of look like the old Alabama days. And, quite frankly, the quarterback play of Mariota was pretty good. I think he completed like 82% of his passes, something like that.
Okay.
So, but I got to tell you this much. Watching Mariota and watching Blake Bortles at the helm as quarterbacks, they still have a lot of growing up to do. And when I watch a young quarterback like Andrew Luck is clearly leagues above these guys, Dream.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
So I mean, Andrew Luck is a very, very special quarterback. Can you imagine if he had a defense?
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, dude, come on. Andrew Luck, outside of this year, because I think this year Andrew Luck's stock changed a little bit, but we knew, I'd say going into maybe the beginning of last year, Andrew Luck was considered, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. You know what I mean? Because he was going at that rate and considered one of the top. And then I think we took a step back probably this year. Well, first there was the injury, and then obviously this year a little bit. And like you said, the defense is bad. And he doesn't get enough credit for not really having a running game and trying to find himself a formidable tight end, which it's fun. I'm glad you mentioned that because I've been meaning to talk about this and discuss this because I think this is an issue for Green Bay as well.
Yep.
Both teams are really suffering from not having that tight end, that catching tight end, that tight end like, who's the tight end I want to see? Jason Witten back in the day.
Yep.
I mean, Witten's kind of fallen off a little bit, only because, he's gotten older, of course, but that, Tony Gonzalez type, even Jimmy Graham, who isn't the Jimmy Graham of old in Seattle, but Green Bay, I think that is one of Green Bay's biggest woes, that they don't have that tight end, because seasoned quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, even look at Tom Brady. They seem to really need that tight end to really get themselves going. I mean, you look at Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's flourished with a good tight end. They keep him.
Oh, he got double tight ends. He's got
double
a
tight ends.
sick tight end tandem, dude.
You look at that. Even Peyton Ball back in the day. Remember Dallas Clark? Your good, great tight end, your good, great quarterbacks have with the prolific offenses have always had those stellar tight ends. And I think that's a big additive that's missing out of Green Bay's offense.
I agree with you. And going back to the running back position, I mean, the Indianapolis Colts, like you said, do you realize that I believe Frank Gore had a 100-yard game a couple of games ago, and that was the first one in like years that they've had. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher in like any games at all. Going back, I want to say it was like 19 or 20 games in a row, Dream. Something stupid.
Wow.
Stupid. So
but that's because they're throwing the ball so much.
Yeah, that's true. But still, the run sets up the pass, and the pass sets up the run. You follow me?
Okay.
So I mean, you still need a 100-yard rusher in a couple of seasons, at least a couple of games here and there. So, and Frank Gore is a beast. I mean, this guy is doing monster things at his age, and he has started. I mean, he has been the most least injury-prone back in the NFL I've seen in the last decade, Dream.
Okay.
He has been amazing. He has been starting left and right. I don't know how many consecutive starts he has, but Frank Gore has been a monster. And you know what? NFL is among us, and I'm pretty excited for what we got coming up this weekend. But getting back to last night's game, guys, the over did come out as we alluded to. And you know what? Tennessee got the job done, and the Jacksonville Jags are who we thought they were, guys.
Well, no, because we didn't.
They are who we thought they were, Dream, not what everybody else thought they were. That's what I'm saying. To quote the late great Denny
hard
Green.
to sneak something, to give something dope on me.
Yeah, right. And same thing with the Raiders, right?
I'm still scratching my head about the Minnesota Vikings right now. I'm like, I don't know. I still don't quite think that you're all that.
I feel the same way about the Denver Broncos.
See, I like the Broncos though, man. But you know what? I will say this. I am going to take one step back from the Broncos and pull them back one level than I had them at, because I have noticed Simeon is starting to make those rookie quarterback or just getting his start quarterback mistakes. And I've seen it now a few times in his gameplay, and I am slightly concerned about that. So I am going to take them one notch down from where I had them, but still, just based on that defense alone, right there at the cream of the crop with the AFC?
When they're at home. Because I got news for you.
You see it?
Kansas City's going to win that division, and they're going to have to play at K-Sizzle, and they're going to lose.
They beat Cincinnati on the road. I'm not so fast with
Cincinnati's 2-4 or whatever they are. I mean, they beat Cleveland this week, big deal. But they got a losing record. Dream.
Who?
Cincinnati. They're not a dope team.
No, come on. I'm talking. We're basing Cincinnati off. You know, at the end, when the smoke clears at the end of the season, dumb Andy Dalton will be in the playoffs.
The Red Rocket.
You know the Red Rocket will be in the playoffs.
Losing with the head coach and all this coaching staff having that dumb look on their face yet again.
Let's keep it real for a minute now, because there's certain things about football that you know at the end of the season, certain things are going to happen. You know, dumb ATL is going to be in the playoffs and lose.
Right.
And dumb Andy Dalton is going to be in the playoffs too, looking stupid. We'll be talking about Marvin Lewis losing his job again. Of course. I mean, certain storylines have not at all changed. You could go back 5 years ago, and it's the same thing.
Well, speaking of Marvin Lewis, if he doesn't make the playoffs this year, he's done. There's no way. I mean, listen, his job was in question when he made the playoffs and couldn't win a game. So now if he doesn't even make it to the playoff stream, which I still think they may.
I think they will too, because it's so booty.
I don't know, though, man. The Dolphins might knock him out at 10-6.
Oh, you and the Dolphins. I can't even do it with you and them. I can't even, like,
10-16, baby. Watch out.
I can't even do it with him. You're like my man Rick Lopez and the San Diego Chargers. I don't know who's got more love, you for the Dolphins or him for the Chargers.
Last I checked, the Chargers actually are on a little bit of a winning streak here. They went into ATL and got the job done last I checked, Dream. So maybe he might be on to something. As it goes. Good morning to everybody. SBTV Nation, we are live on Twitter right now. The Dream _SBTV and SBTV Nation. I got Rick Lopez hitting me up about Rivers already. He said he'll give Denver another loss. Gonna give Denver another loss.
Phillip Rivers, boy. Rick, you keeping it alive for my boy. Phillip Rivers says goes out there and plays for you, play. He got Phillip Rivers' life matters.
Absolutely. So let's shoot over to the collegiate slate last night, Dream, because I almost had it with the Pittsburgh team. They almost got the job done, but couldn't get it done, but lost by 3, and they were getting 3.5. So if you played that on the spread, you hit by the hook.
No doubt.
But you lost on the money line. So that little experiment is down right now 1 unit because we started it yesterday.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. But, hey, I obviously picked the wrong home team underdog, considering the fact that the Buffalo team got the job done, kid. They beat the Akron Zips 41-20, and Buffalo only averaged 14 points a game before that game.
I'm still trying to figure out how Buffalo pulled that off. They must have threw a bunch of girls at Akron Zips, really to throw them off their game.
The Akron Zips.
Akron Zips went in there and got beat up right out of the gate the second quarter. They let Buff put up 17 and then 21 in the fourth. Absolutely bad job by them and their coaching staff, and they need to go check themselves out right now because they just got smoke showed in that particular matchup.
Absolutely, guys. And the game of the night went all the way up to 21 points, Dream. And you and I talked about it, and we said, since the line is climbing, let it keep going.
Sure.
The line went all the way up to 21 points with Cal being an underdog, guys.
Yep.
So Dream and I were texting each other like, this is nuts. I mean, Cal Bears do score. They averaged, almost 40 points a game or 41 points a game, something like that.
Oh.
Sure enough, USC couldn't cover the spread as they won. Actually, no, they couldn't cover the spread, but it was a push.
It was a push.
21 points.
It was a push.
Wow, okay. So it was tight. It was close. Cal had a couple of shots there towards the end of the first half to narrow the gap, and they just couldn't do it. They had to kick a field goal. And you know what? I'm looking at this team, and I'm looking at this game, and I just don't understand. I mean, where is USC as far as this power ranking now? Why all of a sudden are they dope, Dream?
I am completely miffed with USC, and I don't know what's going on, who paid who off to get what's going on there. That's that Pac-12, though, and like I told you, we have to keep an eye on that Pac-12, and I got to be honest with you. Yes. I saw a little bit of this game last night. Dude, if Washington is bragging about how they beat Cal and USC, stop it.
Well, they dominated these teams, though.
No, but here's my thing. If Bama, Louisville, or Clemson played Cal and USC, what do you think would happen?
Well, Bama did play USC and murdered them.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Don't listen. You can't come to the party talking about, hey, well, you know what? I beat USC and I beat Cal and I be killing the Pac-10 and I'm going to try to beat up on some of this SEC and ACC. I'm just not going for that. I'm sorry, you're not selling that to me.
Not selling it to you exactly.
No, I'd be like, play.
I think Alabama beat USC in the beginning of the year by like 40 points. I think that's exactly
I don't know what it was by, but I just know this.
52-6.
Not impressed with the Pac-12.
You're not impressed with the Pac-12.
And as far as the Pac-12 playing the SEC like Alabama, you might want to even sprinkle in Auburn. And I know Shane Whitted, if he's listening, or Whitehead, if he's listening, is probably going crazy because I just said the Auburn team. But you might even throw in Auburn in that mix because they've been I just don't think the competitiveness level is on the same. Is paralleled as far as the Pac-12 in reference to the SEC and the ACC. I just don't think the competitiveness is there.
Well, hold on, time out for a minute, because you got to remember something. The SEC is not that good, Dream.
Not that good.
Outside of Florida and Texas A&M, who's there? I mean, you can't. Tennessee?
Just name 3 dope teams. You got Alabama, Florida, Texas A&M, and then, like I said, I want to throw in a little Auburn.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
I'm going to throw a little Auburn in, but I'm still saying the worst team in the SEC, I think, is still probably as good as the best team in the Pac-12.
Oh, stop it. Oh,
I'm
my God. That's
I think.
So you're saying Mizzou would go into Washington and win. That's pretty much what you're saying.
That is.
Come on, Dream.
Okay, no, I'm not going to go down.
Fall back. Well, you drank way too much last night.
Wait, stop.
You drank way too much.
Say Mizzou now. Stop it.
You said the worst team in the SEC will beat the best team in the Pac.
Okay, let's rephrase that then. I think that one of the worst. Look, like I said, I just think the gameplay and the talent level in the Pac-12 is not on parallel with the SEC or the ACC this season, and I feel like Washington coming in and getting in that playoff spot, it's going to be just a bad look if Louisville doesn't get in and they let a Washington team get in and then go in there and get smoke showed.
Well, I got news for you. You might be in pretty good shape with Louisville. I'm going to tell you why.
I already know this.
Because the Clemson Tigers are going to lose to Florida State this week.
That is not happening.
What?
Nope.
Come on.
Sorry.
Florida State's beating them.
No, they're not.
All right.
No, they're not.
With a little wager on that, Dream?
I
mean, listen, you don't pay anyway. So what am I going to do?
God, here we go with this again.
What are you going to do? I'm telling you, Florida State is going to win on the field this week.
Let's bet something that we do. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll bet
a night out.
Buy a night. I'll buy a drink.
Oh my God, are you serious? That's my man. Be a cheat.
I'll buy. Okay, how about this? I'll do a pitcher of beer. Or, I'll even throw in wings on a Sunday. We'll do Sunday, like a Sunday football. I'll get the wings and the beer.
All right.
Pitcher of wings and beer on me if I lose.
You said it right. You're going to get it because Florida State is going to win. I'm telling you. Guys, who do you got winning? Clemson or Florida State this week? Because you know what? That's a pretty good game, and I got news for you. Florida State got revenge on their minds, and if they need to salvage their season at all, it's by beating the Clemson Tigers this week.
There's my boy Weavy Weave when I need him, because we will let you know about the Clemson Tigers, and they are definitely dominant. They're not going down to Florida State. There is no way that's going down this weekend, and your boy is all over it. And one more tidbit I'm going to get you. Put your wager in on the Houston Cougars right now. Yes, I said it.
No.
And on the Houston is going to go ham this weekend on UCF. You heard it right now. You heard it today. I'll preview it some more on Saturday, but I'm telling you right now, Houston's going ham. And without further ado, let's get into tonight because we got a couple of games going on. We got Navy right now going into South Florida this evening.
By the way, Dream, Vegas girl's telling me that Washington has not played those two teams that played each other last night. They haven't played him yet.
Good.
All right, so moving on here. Let's see what we got up tonight on the card.
I'm going to tell Vegas girl something, too. Because Vegas girl, I love you to death. But I just want you to know, Seattle's offensive line is about the worst thing that I have seen in professional football. And that team is not going to go anywhere with that offensive line. I just want to put it out there. That's I feel so bad for Russell Wilson.
All right, sounds good. I mean, he is always running for his life.
Oh, my God, dude.
All right, so we got 1, 2, 3 games on the ticket today. We got Navy at South Florida. South Florida's giving them a touchdown with an under-over of 65.5. Dream, Navy's a pretty good team.
Navy is a pretty good team.
And I'm not sold on South Florida by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm not sold on South Florida either. Their defense allows 447 yards. They allow 206 yards on the ground. And here comes Navy.
Here comes Navy with the triple option. Navy rushes for almost 300 yards a game with that triple option, guys. They are 5-1 and getting 7 points.
They got to be licking their chops right now. Will Worth must be going absolutely crazy, saying, I can't wait to get behind center and just put the full package into motion. 133 carries this season, 489 yards on the ground. That's Will Worth holding it, pulling it back in, and keeping it himself to run because the linebacker did not read, what he was trying to do. Dude, this game could spell disaster for South Florida. I am calling CSI right now and letting them know to report to the field because there could be a crime scene happening right now.
You really think Navy as a 7-point under? Dream, you're plugging an underdog here?
I'm plugging an underdog.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Dude, last week you were on a couple of dogs too.
Oh, I know. I slipped some dogs in there because when I don't feel that Navy's a dog. I feel that this line is absolutely wrong and it's off. I don't feel Navy should be a dog. Other than just the travel situation, I just don't get it.
Well, South Florida has beaten teams of the caliber as follows. Connecticut, East Carolina, they won at Cincinnati, which is a little impressive. They won at Syracuse, and they beat Northern Illinois, who stinks. Navy, on the other hand, I like this team. I got to be honest with you. I mean, and what they did to Houston, Dream, I mean, Navy's not a bad team. I don't think South Florida got any business giving 7 points, brother.
I don't think they got any business giving 7 points either, but guess what? Take the 7 points. Don't money line them, all right? Yep. Take the 7 points if you're listening. And I would add sprinkle in a couple more points with this. But I expect Navy to have a lot of success on the ground. I just told you the numbers. South Florida is allowing 206 yards on the ground. Navy should be able to run for days against the South Florida team.
My man, Super Mario, local guy here that helps me out on so many different projects I got going on. Thank you very much. He's saying double down the bet. He says Florida State is going to beat Clemson as well, Dream.
All right, Super Mario.
But he doesn't pay his bets, dude. So don't even worry about it. All right, that's a moot point. Anyway, moving on, Dream. Let's see what else we got up our sleeves today. We got 2 more college football games. We have as follows: San Diego State at Utah State. San Diego State minus 6.5 with an under-over of only 44 points. You got a pretty good battle of defenses here, kid. What do you got?
San Diego State, I have been trying to figure them out.
Right.
I want to say that they're good, okay? For most of the season, they've looked somewhat impressive to me. Somewhat, okay? I just don't know about this particular matchup. For some reason, something feels funny here. I can't put my finger on it, but it just feels funny and almost, like we like to say, looks too easy.
Home team dog, baby. That's why.
Dog, I don't know if it's that because I don't really.
Utah State is 18-3 in the last 21 games at home. Pretty good team at home.
All right. Saying.
So this is part 2 of it, man. Let's get Utah State tonight. 1 unit play.
I'm going to back off of this myself. I don't really like this particular game. I'm kind of leaning San Diego State, but I just can't pull the trigger. I don't really like this matchup because I can't figure out this San Diego State team. I mean, Christian Chapman obviously does a pretty decent job as the quarterback there. 1,151 yards through the air with 9 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. You got to keep an eye on that. Also, Pumphrey's been pretty dynamic from the running game standpoint. 1,200 yards on the ground with 13 touchdowns. Impressive. Getting it done impressively through the air and on the ground, but it's just something that stinks about this game. I can't put my finger on it, so I'm staying away.
Well, San Diego State only gives up 17 points a game, and it's not like Utah State scores a lot of points.
It's not.
They're averaging about 25 points a game, guys. But looking at Twitter here, Jay Goots is saying that it sounds like you were hanging out with Weave with Clemson, Dream.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to tell you like this. Florida State has some defensive issues that I really feel Clemson's going to be able to capitalize. I don't know how Florida State defensively is going to put a hold on this Clemson team. Now, if Clemson comes in lackadaisical, yawning and doing their thing and not with any type of energy and don't get at it, which I don't expect this to happen, but if they come in there like that, then yeah, they could get, banged up. But when you look at this team, honestly, come on, dude.
If I'm a player, if I'm a fan, if I'm a member of the coaching staff for Florida State this week, I got my boys going bananas.
Okay.
All week long. The whole school is probably behind them. This is like their Super Bowl dream.
Shane Whitehead, tell him, because I see Shane up there telling you, because he's a big SEC advocate. Well, Clemson's in the ACC, but Clemson's going to win this game.
All right. Sounds good. Moving on to the rest of the collegiate slate, we got one more game to talk about, and that is a booty one. We got Air Force at Fresno State, giving 14 points. Air Force, another team with the triple option offense, and the under-over is 54 points overall. You know what, guys? I have not seen any of this. Fresno State is terrible. 1-7 overall. What do you got?
And if you thought Navy was going to run wild, all right, Navy was going to run wild, okay? Fresno State gives up 264 yards on the ground.
Ouch.
264 yards on the ground, and Air Force is rushing for 291 yards. Dude, tonight, running back should be exhausted.
If you're doing daily fantasy with collegiate football, get your fingers on the running backs of Air Force and Navy.
Not Navy. You got to take the quarterback with Navy because he keeps the ball a lot more. The running back for Air Force, you can do. It is DJ Johnson. You can take him. 99 carries, 452 yards. For Navy, though, you want to go with the quarterback.
All right. Sounds good. So moving on, Dream. We do have the World Series kicking back off tonight.
Man, dude, honestly,
I know.
I don't who is anybody watching baseball?
Oh, dude. All right. So, guys, I do love baseball, Dream. I really do love baseball. I love, I love playing it, all summer long and whatnot. I got to be honest with you though. With the NBA going off, with football going off, guys, I am struggling a little bit with this World Series. I don't know if it's the teams that are involved. I was just so much more into it last year with the Mets and K-Sizzle, Dream, than, Cleveland and Chicago. I mean, guys, if you're a baseball fan, I'm sure that you're licking your chops and you're absolutely loving this. I'm sure the evil genius is going crazy over this. But I just don't know. I mean, I'm being honest with you. It's just not doing it for me this year. But the Cubs, if they win, it'll be a real good story, obviously, for sports because they haven't won in forever. And when you're looking at, what's your thoughts, Dream? I mean, you got the Cubs to win the whole thing. You got a future.
And by the way, the incredible Marley Marr just said something that just threw me way off my game as far as worrying about any type of sports right now. I don't know if you can see that picture.
God.
But, wow.
He said, please don't talk about baseball. Whoa, Dream.
Marley Marr, I don't know if you and me got separated at birth, because that right there is exactly my speed.
That is the speed all day long, Dream.
Wow. God. And that right there will put it into baseball talks and any type of sports talk.
Yes, it will. Just in case you don't know, on Twitter, sometimes people send us some absolutely outstanding photos.
That right there is bananas.
Yes, very, very. He must have waited all week to pick that one out personally for us on Friday. All right, guys. So you got a couple of good offenses here. Obviously, the Cubs and Cleve scoring almost 5 runs a game here. Kyle Hendricks versus Josh Tomlin today. Kyle Hendricks 17-9 with a 2.07 ERA versus Josh Tomlin, who has a 4.31 ERA with a 15-9 record. The Cubs are heavily juiced, Stream, minus 200 with Kyle Hendricks.
Okay.
I don't have an opinion on this, guys, to be honest with you.
I got an opinion. Listen, don't watch the baseball game. I'm sorry. I just got to go there. Don't watch the baseball. I know it's the World Series, but I got to tell you, it is there is no buzz to it. I mean, the storyline in this World Series, I guess You want to embrace it if you're Cleveland, with the whole Cleve thing. But, man, there's no other than the Cubs just being back in it. But you know what I think? Because the Cubs have been so dominant this season. Does anybody really think that? Because I don't really think Cleveland has a chance.
Yeah, Cubs in 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't really feel Cleveland has a chance. I mean, I don't. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong. I just feel like the Cubs are just going to win it. Cleveland doesn't really have a chance. It would have been so much better if the Red Sox were there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, way better.
Way better.
Million %. I agree with you on that.
And for players, a couple of Cleveland guys, Kluber. Yeah, and I'm almost pretty much done right here. But you just don't know a lot of stories and a lot of names. Listen, when you know who I know more about Cleveland? Francona. You know the manager more than you know most of the players. Seriously, think about this for a minute. I'm keeping it real with you.
You know what I know about Cleveland, Dream?
What?
LeBron James.
That's about it, LeBron James. So anyway.
You ain't getting this at ESPN this morning. I can just tell you. ESPN is not telling you that the World Series is booty.
Could you imagine some of the representatives from the fan listening to us right now?
Oh, my God. The fan, they're probably turning over in their grave. They're probably trying to turn us off.
Yeah,
What's wrong with them guys? Oh, you could tell they're not professional.
Yeah. You could tell.
They need to change the format.
Yes, sir. All right, Dream. So that's the end of that. And we are going to talk real quick about the NBA matchups, guys. Obviously, it's early in the season, so we're trying to figure things out. We're trying to see the new acquisitions to each team. A lot of players have switched uniforms this year, so we got to have a conversation about these teams. But obviously, Cleve has been pretty much kept together as far as the championship unit. And Cleveland is going into Dream, our favorite team, the Toronto Raptors.
Toronto Raptors. And I want no parts to do with this.
I agree with you.
Toronto is one of those regular season team juggernauts.
Yes.
They also run one of the ugliest offensive sets that I've ever seen on a basketball court. Right. To be honest with you, they are absolutely, I don't know how they do it and win games, but they do win games. And this is absolutely a bad spot. Cleveland traveling, going into Toronto, coming off of their win and, they're dominant. I could see Cleveland maybe being in a little bit of a party mood when they get to Toronto and wanting to do something, hanging out or do something. I don't know what, but I don't like this game.
No, that's an ugly game. I'm just looking for the marquee matchups today, guys.
Marquee matchup right now, though.
What do you got?
I would be very surprised if Golden State Warriors did not go absolutely ham tonight and blow the Pelicans right out of their building.
That's a very, very good situation probably to get involved in a money line, Dre.
I'd be very surprised if Warriors lost this evening. Coming off of that loss at home, got to be a little bit angry. Obviously, a little people been starting to whisper, what's going on with them? Listen, I expect the Warriors to go bananas tonight.
Yes, I agree. Are you ballsy enough to lay to 10?
I am, Hat. I am. I think Golden State goes nuts tonight against this Pelicans team. And I don't like the Pelicans anyway. I think they're very overrated. I don't know what all the buzz is about Anthony. I know Anthony Davis is talented. I liked him when he played in college. I just don't think I don't think it's panned out in the pros quite like.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I've kind of drummed it up to me.
I'm with you on that. I
all
am.
Right.
So we're looking at those couple of games, guys, and that's pretty much going to do it for our show. Because we're getting ready for the weekend, man. Because you know what, Dream? Collegiate football, big slate tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to the game that you and I are wagering on in the ACC. And we got the NFL popping on Sunday. So what you got to do to close out of here, my man?
Hey, listen, I want to thank everybody that's got involved and retweeted the show this morning. Hat's got a couple things that he's got to get done that are very important today. So we are going to cut out here just a tad bit early. Not a whole hell of a lot going on, but listen, I'm a real big fan of Golden State coming back tonight and doing it. We do need to talk about Dwight Howard being in Atlanta. I didn't get a chance to touch on that. Hat, your boy might have found a real home.
You think so?
Might have found a real home. I kind of like him in Atlanta. We talk about that maybe a little bit. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll get into that Monday. I'm not going to even dirty up the weekend talking about Dwight Howard. But we are going to get out of here. I want to thank Joseph Del Rosario, Immaculate, my man Marley Marcus. Marlon, you are the MVP of today's show.
He is the MVP.
Definitely the MVP of today's show, and we got, to give it up to you, Shane Whitehead is out there as well. We got JDH24, AB Lent, CDN Capra Kings, JC Direct Sports Solution, Vegas Girl 92661, who's got the Washington sign up for her name. Christo, Super Mario to the Bank, Stupid Bets, Cash Action Bets, JP, and Terry Bouchard, just to name a few. Guys, Golden State Warriors, go ham. As far as that football is concerned, I can't help you out tonight. I gotta tell you, I don't trust any of those games. Don't money line Navy. If you're gonna take Navy, get Navy with some extra points. If you're gonna do it in a teaser situation, maybe you tease it with Golden State. I don't really love the football games, so I gotta be honest with you. Just better football games coming. We got a full slate on Saturday and even more on Sunday. So go easy. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you with. Make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir, Dream. And I'm looking forward to a big collegiate slate tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with you, myself, and the evil genius of Major League Baseball. We could kind of get our baseball juices flowing with him for 5 minutes.
I can't.
No?
Oh.
You want to call in after that?
I do.
All right, sounds good. Guys, we love you to death. Go out there, go easy. Make all the money you can right now, especially while you're young, and get that money. Let's go!
And even if you're old, you can make some money. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Right. You should be able to make a lot more when you're older. Honestly.
You don't get old being a fool.
Take care.